All right, and a very good evening to you, everyone, from the desert southwest, the lovely desert southwest of Yuma, Arizona. 82 degrees at kickoff time here tonight. And welcome everybody to Wednesday evening. Kind of an interesting chat tonight. How you doing? How you doing, Fruit Loop? Nice to see you. It's kind of an interesting chat tonight. Let's wait till the room populates a little bit here. And the big question,
Yeah,
could I live in Mexico or am I already getting burned out on Mexico? That's the question here tonight. And I want to ask Marshall, if you were to move to Mexico, what would you miss about the United States? I'm going to talk about that a bit tonight. I will start off by saying I've put a very short Mexicali cinematic video together, which really kind of captures the creep factor of that border town and how there's a weird vibe in
oh
the air
yeah,
down there.
oh yeah.
A really weird vibe. Hello from Northern Ireland, Valerie. How are you, honey? Love Northern Ireland. Jack A, Nocturnal, Mark Handler. I'm doing good, Pineapple. And howdy, Uber Spanky. How you doing, Spanky? Hello, Kim C. Johnny West. How are you tonight? And that will be coming out. I'll probably put that live overnight. It's not on the order of Tijuana, but it still turned out it captures the essence of.
Winky Whispers is in there. Hello, Winky.
Hey, Winky, how
Spanky
you doing
Ham,
there?
Johnny West, almost Super 76. A lot of new people.
Tenaciously Sadie May. How you doing? What's up, Tenaciously Sadie
So many new
May?
people
Do you
watching
need
it,
to go
Rosie.
solo? He's not hurting me, D. Okay, hey Rosie, have gonna hit the sack. Okay, have a good night, Andres. Thanks for coming in. How you doing, Jen? You know, I mean, it's
The
somebody
last name
that,
is one of my top heavy duty
you know,
trolls.
and he's been very nice
That's a
on my
serious. He's
channel
a
with.
serious. Nah, I know he's been nice, but
He's been nice on my channel. He
he's
just
been
doesn't like it when you're on the video. But
well.
for me, it's a hospitality thing. If you're traveling together, and like I said, there's courtesies that Marshall extends to me. They don't ever make YouTube. They don't ever make it onto the platform here because I don't make a big deal out of it. And he doesn't either. He's hot with that measuring tape, man. Right now, he's hot. He's
Well,
like, get that
we
tape
were
out and let's do.
the topic
You
of
know,
conversation was Mexico, and Mexico is, like I said, I've been encouraging Rosie to watch some of Rick Bayless's videos, a famous Chicago chef
hey,
about
rainy nights.
Mexico and Mexico culture and food, and I
Oh,
think she'll
thank
learn a
you,
lot
Sadie
about
Mae.
it. But
How you doing, Mouse Toes? Edward James Hubbard, 2024. How are you? Border towns, or no? You need to go way south. Exactly, Cobra John. But you got to start somewhere, and it's nice to see you tonight. Jessica Jennifer, how you doing, sweetheart? Now, I will say this to Cobra John. I have seen a lot in my. How you doing, J.K. Noka? I have seen a ton of stuff in my. I can now say many travels, at least to the border areas of Mexico, and I think that's a reasonable way to initially get the feel for whether you're going to me, if you can take it in a border town, you can take it deeper in the interior. Have I liked every border town that I've gone to? No, I think I don't want to shortchange San Luis, but we went down there. It was, I don't know, what was it, 10 o'clock at night when we got there or
it was
something?
late at night, and I just think that,
Hello,
you know,
Missy.
even today we were talking to a friend of mine here, a local Yuma woman.
Yeah, it's a taste.
Uh,
Yep.
I
Pay
think that
for.
when you go into these border towns, they have the businesses there that cater to Americans by the border, but then you can go deeper into the town and you feel more of the authenticity of the town, like me and Rosie experienced when we went a couple of miles to that taco place, and you saw the real Mexico, and it's actually much safer.
I don't know.
And
I
that
would have liked to have seen that with the light of day, that
with the
area
light of day,
down there.
exactly. But oh, there's
Probably
families.
safer. you know, you've had people that what did the guy say? He's lived there for years and never saw a fist fight on the streets of never saw somebody hit another person there.
Right.
Okay, which is pretty remarkable. Hey, Crystal. Now, you know, Marshall's friend hero I met tonight, a wonderful lady here, beautiful lady here in Yuma. Had all the spirit of Mexico, although she was
Let's not
born,
give any information
I'm
about her.
not giving information, but I'm saying she was born in Yuma.
Right.
And, you know, she'd watched the Mexicali just crossing the border today, and she's like, oh, that doesn't give the true
representation.
And I said, of course it doesn't. I can only do the border thing.
What you see, yeah?
So, you know, like when I capture the aspects of the grittiness at the border, well, it is what it is. I'm not going to polish it and be a Chamber of Commerce thing, but in that particular area, yes, it's cinematic because it's scruffy and because it's, you know, it's dark and it's eerie on the streets of that town. How you doing, McFly? Nice to see you. Megan Fox, what are you doing, honey? You look remarkable for a road trip. Yeah, I'm feeling good. As long as you can sleep good. I did not sleep well last night, though. I'm not going to lie, with the crazy leaf blower man and the sweepers running all around the Target parking lot and stuff. That was a bad choice I made. I usually end up regretting that. We don't ever really boondock at the same location, and then we just compare notes the next day, so it gives him a chance to laugh and say, you know, this is why you don't want to be over.
Hey,
you don't want to be on any corporate parking lots and things like that. It's like that ship has sailed. If you want to do that, then you can do that. You know?
I think that I just wanted to mention my top troll D last name actually had a pretty good question. I had kind of a statement comment for Rosie. He says, Rosie, what do you think about shorter hair? Now, since he mentioned that, Narce told me that he saw Rosie at the Rancho with her wig off. And I've always wondered, well, what is Rosie's hair like under the wig? You know, she never really showed anybody. I guess she hasn't. But according to Narce,
you can see some of my earliest videos in 2013 and 14. I had very short butch.
He said that Rosie has got hair, and I guess he said she's got a pretty good head of hair, but it's a little bit thin.
I just like to wear.
She kind of looks like he said that she kind of looks like a butch lesbian with her regular hair. But Narce did say that you look better with your natural hair than the wig.
Well, I don't know.
So would you ever reveal to the audience yourself without the wig?
It's on my early videos.
But would you ever reveal it
times?
Would you ever reveal it in 2019?
I don't know if I feel like growing in that. I mean, I enjoy wearing blonde wig, blue hair, and all that kind of stuff. I enjoy that, you know. I mean, I'm not like I'm the ultimate tomboy and stuff like that. I spend exactly, what would you say, Marshall? 1 minute on my makeup.
Rosie is not a girly girl. She doesn't spend a lot of time on makeup. I think that Tara does a great job on her makeup.
How you doing, Carlos? Yes, she does.
She does a great job. Yeah. She's like a really good girly girl, but Rosie is a very.
I'm like a cowgirl. I'm like a rough and tumble city broad. What's up, Johnny Wad? How you doing? To me, it's a whole spectrum. There's a place for everybody on the spectrum there, and I'm very happy the niche that I carve out. What's up? It's all about dog show on there tonight.
But I just wanted to mention real quick. I was just talking about the Vanville Rosie, and we're measuring out.
Thank you, Queen Cash.
The key things to building anything for a Class B camper van.
Tell them how hot you are.
The measurements. Now think about it. Now,
it's bothering me. You know, Rosie, I bought this measuring tape. Couldn't you just at least stretch it across the inside?
Well, I've been asking her for over a week. Can she measure the inside? And we're measuring, you know, a queen size bed. For those of you guys know, most of you guys probably at home have a queen size bed. Most people have a queen size bed. Some people have king size beds. Queen size beds are 60 inches wide, which are 5 feet wide, and they're 80 inches long, which is 6 feet 8 inches long. And actually, I can actually fit that in the Lisa Marie.
I don't know any Class B that has a queen size mattress.
Very easily. But I love to have a big bed.
Survivor.
I've always
Thank you, Valerie.
I've always wanted to have a bed in my rig big enough for 2 people in case you want to carry somebody with you. And another thing is to have a standard size mattress, which is not standard in most Class B camper vans, and you can save a lot of money on a custom mattress and just the comfort of it.
Cornholio,
So,
what's up? How is Mexico? Now let's get to. I'll get to the
right.
van build because, unbeknownst to Marshall, I've been twisting ideas around in my head. That's the way I work. I don't have to be there.
Right.
I'm visualizing on the outside. I'm looking at different things and getting a feel. Telling them what needs to. Gutting the thing is the important thing, and that's it. Can you make her be quiet? How you doing, Vicky? Yeah, it's the almighty cornhole.
You want to use this to read it easier, Rosie? If you want to use
No,
this?
I'm fine.
Are you fine?
I'm good.
Okay.
Just the chat wasn't.
I can read it here because it's
What's
actually
up,
easier to read
Joseph?
this.
Okay, that's a big. It is a big bed. It's a huge bed. No problem, Jack. It's a huge bed to stick into a Class B camper van, which means Marshall's effective usable space, floor space, will be cut in half in the van in his living area, his working and living area. And it'll probably actually require some kind of drop-down table or something like that.
Well, the thing that I'm you see a lot of people that are building these vans, and they'll build like a false wall in the back and have like a garage in the back. But when you make a bed that big, you have all that usable storage underneath the bed. You're not really you're increasing a lot of storage under the.
It's not a false wall. I would actually put in a 1x3 and just have a door to the back, or something like that for ultimate privacy.
Yeah. But I think that one thing that I was stressing, Rosie, is a full-size bed is going to be 100%. It's going to be a full-size bed in there, which is 75 inches long, 6'3", and 54 inches wide. But getting a queen-size bed in there, it's not that much bigger, really. It can be done. And having a dinette area, a custom dinette area in the front with a table to separate you have a dining area now with 2 captain's chairs in the dinette, and then the bed, and then a shorter, more organized kitchen. I can just see it right now in my head, how it would look. And then you have all that above space if you want to add cabinets. But I just think that to have a queen-size bed in a Class B camper van is amazing, because not even Class C's have a queen-size bed. Most of them have a little corner bed.
Is Hipster in here? Yeah, I don't know if I missed her or not. And there's Hipster Heaven. How you doing, sweetie? No, I'm not. Yeah, how you doing, Charles? Nice to see you. I'm trying to say hi to everybody. I'm doing good, Hot Frog.
You mind if I ask the audience a question?
Yeah.
I'm going to ask the audience a question.
Every time I drink cream in my coffee.
Yeah,
man.
just a quick question out there. And again, the Lisa Marie, we haven't measured the inside, okay? But you guys know how big Class Bs are. Most of you guys know how big Class Bs are. What if I had a choice, and these are the 2 choices of beds? Would do you think we should build a bed frame for a full-size bed, which is 6 feet 3 inches long and 54 inches wide, or a queen-size bed, which is just a little bit bigger, is 60 inches wide, which is 5 feet wide, and 80 inches long, which is 6 foot 8 inches long instead of 6 foot 3 inches long? And I just want the audience to vote on the side chat, full or queen for the Lisa Marie. I think I would be happy with either or, but I probably would be happier with the queen size. I think it'd be cool to have a queen size.
Somebody asked a good question here. How much weight can the Lisa Marie hold? Actually, the weight of the Lisa Marie will probably be reduced by a pretty significant amount of weight. You're talking about removing the jackknife bed, which is a monster. All of the electric and all the water has to be redone. The electric's got to stay in the same basic area because all the wires are cut to length there. They don't pigtail loop any extra there to move that around. So there's an engineering issue that has to be solved, and a couple other things.
Would you say most people at home sleep on a full-size bed or queen-size bed? Most people that are just single people, let's say bachelors, eligible bachelor, are they sleeping on a queen-size? Most people in homes are sleeping in queen-size beds. Wouldn't you agree? That's the standard size in America, is a queen-size bed.
Yep.
I think most
Cali
people.
King. Let's see. So I think the van. Every time I have cream, the van will be scored in 1971 Sansui. That's excellent, man. That's good. That's a really nice unit. So things will fall into place. You know, I mean,
And a lot of people.
I can't really see until the vehicle's gutted on the inside, basically, and all the plumbing is capped off. You know, there's venting issues now, and I'm not going to get into the. You know, there's venting problems that
For the gray tank
need to be addressed.
But one thing I just wanted to add is a lot of people make these comments. Like one guy just commented, "Oh, if that was my van, I would throw a futon in there. If that was my van, I would build a dinette in there,
Hey, Mr. Z.
or a U-shaped dinette. I would put a power sofa in my bed." And a lot of people don't realize, after living in a van for over 4 years, the one thing that I miss the most is when I had a real mattress at home. Because the one thing that you do in a van the most of anything else is you sleep in the van. You lay in the van. You're in that mattress in a van for a long time.
I told you the bed is the number one
The
thing.
bed is the number one thing. And when
especially if you're an urban boon, it's got to be the number one thing.
And if any of you have been to a mattress store, I highly recommend that you lay down on a Beauty Rest. They call it a Beauty Rest Black non-pillow top firm bed. It's about a $2,000 bed. And when I laid on that thing, I fell in love. And I said to myself, it would be a dream of mine to have a Beauty Rest mattress inside of the Lisa Marie. That's the most important thing. That's the one thing that I miss about home the most out of everything else.
Has that
I can
mattress.
shower at the gyms, I can cook outside, but the one thing that I miss the most about living in a home is having a really comfortable mattress.
Yeah.
And not all mattresses are made the same.
Hop Frog said, "What about a water bed? That's just too
much weight,
too dangerous.
Too much weight.
It's just, you know,
exactly.
What is it? 8 pounds per gallon of water.
I highly recommend.
Susie.
I just want to say, anybody doing a van build, I highly recommend. Forget about the memory foam. It's all garbage. It's a waste of money. There's nothing better than a real spring mattress. And make sure you guys, if you're going to do a van build out your van for a spring mattress, or get one custom made, because the bottom line is all this foam that's out there, all this memory foam, is garbage. And if we will make this happen, it will save me hundreds of dollars.
What are the dynamics of your sleep now? Are you, you know, you have the jungle room, which you've been sleeping in now.
Right.
How has that been functioning?
Well, I've been sleeping on memory foam. I slept on a truck mattress, which was a little bit better than what I have now. Now I have memory foam, but nothing measures up to a real good quality spring mattress. And when you have the spring mattresses, you have so many different kinds and manufacturers, and you can really go out and check which one you like. And if you can't, I know I can't afford the Beauty Rest Black, but you know something, one day I might be able to, and you can work up to getting that, even if you can get one on a payment plan. But what's nice about the mattresses is really go into a mattress store, guys. Seriously, go into a mattress store and go check and see which mattress you like, and you'll realize that, hey, it's time for you to get a new mattress. And you might even want to go on a payment plan, because they're not all made the same. There are different kinds of mattresses, different qualities, different firmness.
I don't know. I'd be way out of my price
But
range.
I think that's the one thing that I miss most about a home is basically your it's your sleeping arrangement.
Dancing Dawn, how you doing, sweetheart? Nice to see you.
And I had an apartment for years, and I slept on an air mattress for years. But I remember my dad, God rest his soul, Tulo Joe, he always wanted a nice, comfortable mattress, and he always talked about, son, this is a nice mattress. And
I think you need that. I mean,
it's very important. Rest.
I told you, as I get older, you get pressure points that build up, and it's
right.
Like
I'm a side
everybody
sleeper.
tells you firm.
It's better for you.
But then I think when you get older, like I want softer now. I want to like a pillow bed. You know, I'm tired of the. You know, you get the
The
neuropathy,
firmer,
you get the tingling in your arms.
the
and
firmer they have a mattress now out
Hey,
there
Patricia,
called the Plush Top.
how you doing, Judith?
So
Yeah, Winky says she's got a $2,500 bed down there in Arizona.
really,
That's
what
cool,
kind of bed you got, Winky? Is it a Stearns and Foster?
I just don't understand
ceiling?
why these things are so expensive. I never. They
It's
always
the
had
springs.
collusion.
It's all about the
They always
springs and
had
the material.
collusion between mattress companies. They would compare prices, but it's never model for model. They always tell you, "Oh, this is different."
Let's see what Winky Whispers has.
Yeah, do you agree with me? Yeah, Valerie says, I agree, Rosie. I'm turned 60 and it's very difficult to sleep on a firm bed for me. Yeah, go check, Winky.
Most women want soft beds. I've been told this by a lot of mattress salesmen, and most men want firm beds. That's how
Dancing Dawn said, go to Sam's Club for a mattress. Extra firm and one soft topper. I do too, Susie. I just can't do it anymore. I mean, isn't it ridiculous? I sleep better on this contraption with gym mats and yoga mats and memory foam and a memory topper, a pillow top mattress topper here than I do it at home. And that's saying a lot. What's up, Coat? Blue light is rigged before you disinfect. There you go, Coat. Some things are best unseen on there. Hard beds hurt, but when you hurt, I agree, McFly.
What's cool, Rosie?
A hard bed just doesn't have any give to it.
If you have a real mattress and a Class B camper van or any
Johnny
van,
Watt said you need a good mattress. That's where the magic occurs.
yeah, but think about it, Rosie. With the mattress, if I get a real mattress in my Class B camper van or any other van, think about it. When you go to a hotel room, you're paying a lot of money for the hotel room. Now think about it. Think about this for a second. I'm living in a van, and I have a mattress, and I've got the same mattress, if not even better and bigger, queen size, let's say, if I go to queen size, than you get in a hotel room. And you think to yourself, wow, I'm really making this life stretch out now. Now I've got a real mattress in this van.
How you doing, honey? Hey, Kaylee.
And I'm saving all this money on hotel rooms. I'm saving all this money on an apartment, and I'm sleeping as good as I would in an apartment or in a hotel room. And it really makes you value the van life even more. So I think it's very important. It really is very important for it.
Let's see, Mouse. I think the heat would have yeah, I don't know anything. I've been riding in the passenger seat. I haven't been in the behind the passenger, but the whole thing will be gutted, and it'll be carefully cleaned and everything like that. You gotta have a really meticulously clean surface, because you need to use plywood for mounting surfaces and things like that in there. Vibrating mattress for the jungle room with leopard print sheets. Woo! There you go.
I just think that
I'd see Marshall on zebra print back there.
I just think, with LED lighting now available with the remote controls, and Rosie is really good with electrical. I could have a really good lighting system in there, and
dinner was good. We're gonna get to that in a minute, but.
Yeah.
There you go, Chris. We'll get back to the van. We'll throw a few more thoughts about that. Could I live in Mexico? And am I burned out? I think Marshall saw today probably got the first glimpse around 2 o'clock today that I was just like kind of up to here with nothing that anybody said.
No.
Everybody's as kind as can be.
Well, you got to remember these smaller towns in Mexico, border towns, most of them have Mexican restaurants. They don't have the variety of foods that we have.
Could you eat Mexican food every night? That's the issue. He probably could, without an issue. I mean, he'd probably be happy. It's like I said, it's a tortilla, meat-based diet. I don't see a lot of vegetables in the diet down there. There are some fruits that are sold, but I don't know how healthy the diet is, but I think the food contributes a lot to your feeling of well-being. Right. And the thing I experienced today was could I face down another taco on the streets of Los Algodones? And of course, I went over and had two from my favorite guy,
Right.
Rosario over there, set me up with dos tacos, por favor. But I've kind of hit that cumulative point where I told Marshall, I said, I don't know what you're going to do. I'm going over and I'm going to get Italian tonight in Yuma.
Right.
And that was a pretty nice change of pace, a very, very great price for.
Well, if you say, for example, if you
right in my wheelhouse. Yeah, go ahead.
if you lived in a large city like Mexico City, in Mexico, it's
thank you,
it's
Susan.
very, very from what I've heard,
Hi,
it's very modern, and they have the same things that we have here, the variety of foods and cultures, and but I just see Rosie.
I bet it is, Johnny.
I see Rosie probably living part-time in the Baja of Mexico, I think, because there's a beach there and she enjoys the beach.
Yeah, we'll get to that. Coach said, how much is Elvis going to spend on fixing his rig? It's all dependent on that, but we'll get to that in a minute. But I just wanted to talk about, could I live in Mexico? Marshall's sure that there's that variety. I'm sure there's Chinese. He's now aware in most every major Mexican city there's going to be a Chinese community somewhere that's doing something. He's like, man, those people are everywhere. Yes, they are. Remember, the Cantonese are the ones that were on the coast that actually got in the boats and traveled and went places and things like that. So they spread their culture far and wide in their food and things. So,
you know what, I'm surprised in Mexican food, Rosie?
Thank you, Mr. Z.
That they don't really have a lot of dishes with rice. In other words, it's that basic Spanish rice. And I think if you get more into the Spanish cooking, like paella, they have more variations with the rice than Mexican cooking, but more of the Spanish influence. But
wow, Winky, $5,000 for that, amazing.
What kind of mattress does she have?
I'm scrolling.
What's the name brand? Is it a Stearns and Foster?
Let me see. I don't even know how you could pick. Hey, how you doing, Jay? I did not find a barbecue place down there, unfortunately.
What's the name brand of that mattress?
I hit the wall.
Beauty Res Black. Oh, so that's what I was talking about.
Okay.
They make a different line. The Beauty Res Black 18 Ultra Plush Pillow Top Mattress and Box Spring. Yeah, you're right. The Beauty Res Black has a different line.
Thank you, Sarah.
There's a different types of Beauty Res Black. There's the firm non-pillow top. There's the plush top with the memory foam. There's the one that she has that's the ultra plush pillow top. Yeah, that is the best mattress that Beauty Res makes. It's worth every penny. It's worth every penny, you know. Yeah,
that is a lot of.
That's a lot of money, yeah.
Mattress,
and I laid down on a lot of mattresses in mattress stores, and I came to the conclusion, Winky whispers, that the Beauty Res Black firm was the best one I've ever laid on. Period. That was incredible.
All right, we'll get back to that,
Yeah.
but I want to just focus down on this because you take a town like Los Algodones, and I don't know, it has, 16,000 residents or something like that in Los Algodones, and it becomes hard. I mean, the novelty's there the first couple days. Now, Johnny Wad lives in Mexico a good amount of the year. He sent me some outstanding information, links to things to review, and I'm very grateful for the time, Johnny Wad, that you spent to send me that information, and thank you very much. I struggle to find, different variations on the Mexican food, and that's kind of my issue. Now, Johnny Wad is down there on the coast of, I think he's in Rosarita down there, and I'm sure it's community caters a lot more to the taste of people there. But I mean, he'll tell you today at 2:00 today, I'm like, you know what, I've had it. I've just gobbled down two street tacos and hit the border and head back out of there. And I'm kind of glad. Tomorrow, I think, is going to be wrap-up day. It's going to be really painful. It's going to be your final big hurrah in the chair. You're going to have your extractions, and then they're going to have to excise that wisdom tooth out with,
Well, here we go. If I want to show you guys, I don't think you can see it. I got one crown here, and one up here. That's going to be an extraction there, but that's a new crown right there. And these two. There you go.
Yeah, thank God you got there when you did with your teeth. You missed your good old-fashioned chooches. Yeah, it's kind of difficult to do them out here, Queen Cash Taz. If it hasn't been the heat, it's also been being in an unfamiliar area. And I have done the chooch in Los Algodondes yesterday, even though the pixelation was there towards the second half. It was a very epic chooch to be on the streets and doing that. We were walking around with Joe and learning some things on there. I keep my mod core very, very tight, Spanky, on here. I always have one or two mods in here. I don't really like to put a wrench in everybody's hands. Carlos, I'm not going to talk about other people on my chat. Okay, they have their own platforms on there. So the question is, could I live in Mexico? Well, Johnny Watt is in here. As I said, he lives in Rosarita Beach, which is a very renowned beach community populated by quite a few Americans that live down in there. So he proves on the daily that you can do it. But my question for Johnny Watt is, when it comes to your daily food, do you have, I would imagine, being a town that caters to a lot of Americans, there's a lot of beach places there that they have very varied menus. Whereas Marshall talks about living in a place like Mexico City or something like that. So I'm sure you find a lot of stuff.
I got some good information.
Could you live in in Mexico, Marshall, and face that diet on a daily basis? That's the question.
Well, again, I'm reading this interesting thing here. The north of Mexico, there's 7 regions of Mexican cuisine. The north of Mexico, Baja, Sonora, Chihuahua, Coahuila, Durango.
I know, Jay.
Each region specializes in a certain cuisine here, and you really need to get in and read it. There's the North Pacific Coast, Nayarit, Jalisco, Colima. There's 7 regions of Mexico here. So South Pacific Coast,
What's up, Friction? How you doing tonight? What's up?
So it's
okay, take care, Cornholio. Variety is the spice of life. I would agree. Hello, Nomadic Ninja. Nice to see you, Chris. Welcome into the chat tonight. Could you live in Mexico? Why do you think I experienced what I did today? Almost a mini meltdown.
Well, you got to understand that
too many border towns in too short a period of time.
Well, I think Rosie.
Too many border customs guys with their nosy questions.
Well, no. I think Rosie everyone has a certain different requirement for travel. And, you know the old saying, you can't always get what you want. Now, look, the bottom line is
No, I did in Phoenix.
We all know that Rosie loves the hoochooching. Now, the hoochooch in Mexico shook her up. Because when we were in Mexicali and things were getting crispy at night, when the guy came out with the baseball bat, when the pit bull dog started running around, when the cops started coming out, I went into a dark alley with a couple of locals, and and it was getting creepy. And Rosie felt the creep factor, I felt the creep factor, and we both hightailed it out of there. Now we know this wasn't America. This wasn't our country. And we were uncertain how bad things would get. And believe me, it shook Rosie up, the tough Baltimore girl that she is. Not that she couldn't hold her own on the streets, but we didn't know how much worse it was going to get.
Yeah, there you go,
Now,
Kristen.
Rosie is not a coward by any means, but the bottom line is, when you see a guy
Hey,
walking
Original
around with a baseball bat
Yeah, I mean, it got
at
freaky.
midnight, and then you see these pit bulls and all these dogs being unleashed, and it starts to get, the creep and weird factor starts to go up, and I wanted to get out of there as soon as possible.
I think my cinematic sort of captures the creep factor. Of, wouldn't you say that video kind of captures a bit of the?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen that happen in Chicago where, I've seen gangbangers with, or thugs with baseball bats walking around, but they're usually walking around for a purpose. They're looking for somebody. They're not going to just attack anybody. Now, in Mexico, it's very weird because here you are in the middle of the night. It's about midnight around that time, and you see a guy with a baseball bat. Now, Rosie said he was chasing dogs with that baseball bat.
Well, you saw him go after a dog.
Now, the bottom line is the guy's got a baseball bat.
Thank you, Sam.
And as far
this is a new one I have coming up overnight. Cinematic Mexicali.
And in Mexico, it is illegal for a citizen to own a firearm. They even look at pepper spray or knives as weapons. It's not like the United States where you got guys in Arizona with an open carry and they're riding a Harley Davidson. It doesn't work like that in Mexico. So that's what I was getting to with Rosie, actually. This question that I wanted to come up and ask you. Do you think that the Mexican government is actually more socialist communist than we are, because they've pretty much outlawed self-defense for the citizens, right? So it's a much more, wouldn't you say it's a much more liberal communist socialist state?
It's really hard for me to get a feel for it because it's the most, on one hand, it's the most dog-eat-dog capitalism. It's America 1910, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Child labor, all kinds of things down there south of the border.
Mm-hmm.
No social safety nets, okay? There's no, you either work or you, as you'll see in my video, you just face plant yourself down on the sidewalk. And
it was before, like how we were before, basically. How America was before, yeah.
Exactly, before the 1930s and the New Deal, people started depending on government for everything.
Right.
Prior to the New Deal, the last place people looked to was government to solve the problem. So it's like old school capitalism. Now, why would they not want people? Well, some societies don't want people to be armed in case they ever have to confront, in case there's ever a broad crackdown or some type of revolution or something like that. That people have very limited weapons at their disposal and things. And I can see Mexico as being that kind of state. What's up, Bergs? What's going on? How you doing
So
tonight?
you're saying Mexico doesn't have Social Security?
I'm not sure if they have a social security system, but I know that they don't have a welfare system, okay? I know for a fact it's like China, okay? If there was a welfare system, you wouldn't have the people walking around the streets that do down there. Yeah, afraid of militias, that's exactly right. Who cares, man, Drake? Why don't you grow up a little bit? Let's see how them gun laws working out. I got no idea down there. I got no idea how they're working it. It's not illegal for... Yeah, well, that's the way it always is, Harry, John, in our society. It's like, oh, we want gun control. Well, when the criminals lay down their guns, and I'll give up my Beretta 9mm, would you pick a place to live where you could own a gun, and where you could pick a place where you can't? I want to be in a place where I can defend myself. Hey, Lonely, you can buy a Romanian AK full auto, $450, $500 in Mexico City. That they go work, America said. Yes, they do, Jay. That's exactly right. That's exactly for the band bill. Try and find free lumber or get a composting to get an apricot portable refrigerator. Yeah. We'll just have to see how it goes. We have 10,000 gun laws now. We don't need more.
I have an interesting.
I agree, McFly. How you doing, Jackie? You know, I have something called the Constitution behind me. The right of the people to bear arms shall not be infringed. Don't infringe it, you know. That's my point. You start trying to control ammunition and making people register to buy ammo. You're starting to infringe my.
I have an interesting.
What's up, Juice? I know Juice agrees, being an Oklahoma guy.
I have an interesting thing here on Mexico. Naturalization in Mexico requires This is according to internet here. Naturalization in Mexico requires 5 years of residency prior to the application date, which would include all years of residency, whether temporary or permanent, if you come from a Latin American country.
Okay, here we go. Could I live in Mexico? Here's our requirements for becoming.
You can become a citizen in as little as 2 years of legal residency. So, I guess it's
what are the requirements?
Possible. What are the requirements to become?
Yeah, Valerie said we can't have weapons in Northern Ireland. I think the UK generally bans weapons, don't they, over there? Yeah, my body, my gun. There you go. Fry him. There's my main political stances. My body, my gun. Fry him. Christine Miranda. There you go, honey. You don't like the food? I got tired of the sameness of it all. I mean, every restaurant's going to put the same menu in front of you. And then you can have the fun for the first week of differentiating which is the best tasting taco on the street and stuff. I've never had any issue with indigestion or any Montezuma's revenge. I think those days, as long as you stay away from the open sources of water, you're going to probably be okay. What do they say? Naturalization. This should be interesting.
Okay, naturalization eligibility requirements. Okay. I'm reading it here. It says you got to be 18 years old at the time of the filing, be a permanent resident, or have a green card for at least 5 years. Show that you've lived for at least 3 months in a state or USCIS district where you apply. Demonstrate continuous residence in the United States for at least 5 years. Is this for the United States?
I think it is.
I think it's for the United States.
Yeah, you have to say.
I guess it's.
What are the requirements to become a Mexican citizen? You know.
I don't know why I brought up the U.S.
See if I lost my passport, but I wouldn't even know what to do down in Los Algodones. You just go to the passport. Do you ever eat any meat that you made you wonder where? I ate a lot of meat in China. I probably ate a lot of horse meat. I probably ate 100 pounds of mutton in my day. But all of it tasted delicious. That's all I can say, whatever they did. So down in Mexico, I can tell that every bit of the beef I've had has been real beef and not horse meat or anything else. Let's see, just curious, you're never home. How do you pay your bills, Rosie? I have online with Bank of America, and Missy Jenn gets the mail at home, and she opens it and tells me what needs to be paid at the Rancho. Did you say mutt, Jessica? I didn't want to really go there, but I'm sure I've eaten my quantity of dog and cat too in Asia. But they've started to do away and outlaw a lot of those open. You know, you go through the wet markets and stuff in China and Korea, and you would see all the pen dogs and things that would be sold. Take some personal responsibility, accountability, gun heads, but I'll bet you never ate a pussy before. The beef, chicken, and eggs are delicious here. I have to say, Johnny Wad, the steak has been outstanding in Mexico. Yeah, I've eaten mutton a few times. Did Missy Jenn like Marshall? Yes, she does. Phoenix Rising, no problem. Missy Jenn has gotten to know Marshall over the years. How many times have you hung out? 3 times with Missy Jenn. What are you looking up? Citizenship? Oh, come
No,
on,
no,
man.
no. I'm
What are
not
you
looking.
doing?
I'm not looking up citizenship. I was just looking
Look
up.
at that crap now. I mean, we're on
No,
a
no, I'm not.
hangout
No,
here.
no. I was looking up just
I'm
some
more
stuff on
curious what's
mattresses. Yeah.
required to become a Mexican citizen.
Oh,
Wish all barking was online. Saves lots of trees. Exactly. Offer me a solution. Yeah, Missy Jenn loves farm stuff. If there's a video about baling hay or doing alfalfa or running a gigantic GPS controlled combine, I'm sure she's seen it out there. Lamb, all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, that's what makes, to me, that's the joy of going to other cultures, guys, is trying the different varieties of foods that are out there. And sometimes you gotta, I'm not saying everybody's going to like the Philippines. You go to Manila, they sell balut on the streets, and that's it's an embryonic egg that's partially developed. It's not to everybody's liking, but it's considered a delicacy in the you got to kind of, you give everything a shot and you give it a try. I mean, thousands of years of development and cooking, and, it can be little off-putting. Would you mind if I got that dress for you? The in-laws live in here. No, Petey, I don't want you to get anything from me, honey. How long will Marshall stay with? I'm not sure, sweet pineapple. He'll be coming and going from the Rancho too. So, yeah, Missy Jenn would love Wyoming. Love Wyoming. There you go. Valerie says my son-in-law's is sweet. I've never watched dog farts in my life. I'm so happy to see you. I don't even like the name of it. Dual citizen, F-57, living kind of snowbird to Baja or sometimes Russian. Love you guys, and gotta say Canada rocks when it comes to freedom and medical in the West. It does, Wilshire. Yes, it does. And thank you. I've got a lot of new people coming on board on the chats these days. So, balut. Yeah, woo, balut. Another know-it-all moment for Rosie. I don't even know what that means, Lonely Ape. You have to put things in context here. 1 a.m. Good night, everybody. Scott Clark, nice to see you. Hey, Cheryl Coyote. What a hoot. There's my girl from Clovis, California, the pride of the Central Valley. You and my oldest are hanging out in Mexico at the same time. In fact, you were both in Tijuana on the same way. How you, Dame Day? How you doing, Cheryl? I hope Grant's doing well, honey. I still follow your videos, just trying to comment on my mother-in-law and should make it. You change your mind. Thank you, honey. Yeah, online bill paying has been outstanding. Oh, he looks just like Marshall, only with crazier eyes. Yes, he's going to have things to do on the Rancho, yeah.
Rosie, there's some interesting facts about the Rancho here.
There's no doubt.
It says it's worth $494,000. 7-Eleven. Your estimate for rent is $23.50 a month for the Rancho. 0.48 acres. 1,033 square feet.
That's one building, but since then it's been illegally
Now,
permitted.
in 1 year forecast, it's going to go down to $491,495. So it looks like it's going to be crashing.
Yeah, Lonely Ape, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I know, I'm a terrible person. Make him cut the grass with scissors. Well, what's your point about the Rancho?
Well, look at this. In 2005, the Rancho was sold for $550. That was before the bubble burst. And I think Rosie got in right at the right time.
I did. I settled on.
Did you buy it in 2011?
I did. Memorial Day of 2011. I hit the absolute bottom of the market.
Actually, it was cheaper in April.
Well, I had to pay other things. I bought in May.
Actually, yeah, you could have bought it for $169 in April. You see that?
I bought it $189. Yes, I paid over the phone, Bergs. I have the Bank of America app. I can pay bills by on my phone.
So yeah, Rosie got it at rock bottom, $183. And wow, the Rancho right now is listed at $494. Almost $500,000, folks.
Well, a home is a place to live, Marshall. It's like if you sell
Now,
it, where are you going to go? Are
my
you
prediction,
going to be able to find an equivalent lifestyle? You know.
my prediction is Rosie, before that bubble bursts, because she's right at the high top of the bubble now. And if she doesn't sell now, it's probably going to go back down to $150,000, $200,000.
Would it bother me? No.
So right now, you know the old saying, the Rancho is highly marketable.
Oh yeah, that's right, Spanky.
So Rosie's got a big decision to make on the Rancho. Either she gets in when the going's good,
Yeah, I hear you.
because the economy's riding high now.
I posted how to become a resident in Mexico. Where is that, Captain Checkmate? Now, here's what Plum said. Here we go. Listen to this, Marshall. Mexico will get old fast. My cousin tried living there. He lasted just under a year in Puerto Vallarta. Lots of corruption, poor sanitation, language barriers, lacking medical care, etc. That would be my prediction to Marshall. Just like I lived, when I finished in Hong Kong, I thought I would love living in Hawaii. I got to Hawaii, and after 6 months, I couldn't wait to get off of that island. Okay, everything I had ever thought about Hawaii and experience was done. You can drive around the island in a good 3 hours, looping around Oahu and things, and the sameness of it, the weather, the lack of seasons. It's the same thing, I think, in Mexico. Now, somebody like Johnny Wad, he lives part-time in Mexico and part-time, I believe, in the San Diego area. He really does have the best of both worlds. But I think if you, Marshall, if you decided I'm going to become a Mexican citizen, I would think after, I want to say, 8 to 9 months, you would be back in Chicago again. Okay? And that's just my honest opinion. Whether temporary or permanent, if you come from a Latin American country or from the Iberian, you can become a citizen in as little as 2 years of legal residency. That's interesting. But otherwise, I guess it would be otherwise, I guess it would be 5 years or something. We'll never know, KJ, until that day comes, will we? He probably dislikes trolls more. Let's see. I think she should stay if she likes it. She fixed that home. Yeah, where else would I go? I didn't buy a home for an investment. I bought a home to live in. Mike Jordan says, good morning, Elvis Travels and Rosie O'Kelly. I'm all about the USA, USA, USA. I like the fact that I've lived different places in my life. Hey, Star Walker, how you doing? Let's see. Take care, Harry John. Wilshire says a quarter section in northern Alberta with hose, barn, garage for a semi-fenced wildlife can be had for $160,000 and sold for over $500,000. The oil boom is back. Interesting. Thank you, my moderators. You guys that are coming in are running against the toughest moderator crew in the business. Star Walker Blue, nice to see you. Let's see. Go where your heart takes you. Yeah, to me, I didn't ever buy it. I didn't ever buy it to invest in. I bought it as a place to live. So to me, it's kind of irrelevant. It goes up, it goes down. We all know over the course of time that the government is always undertaking a stimulative, inflationary, and Marshall and I talked about this. They have the power of the printing press that states don't have, that you and I don't have, the few other sovereigns,
Can I point something out? What are you talking about now? What is the subject?
We're talking about real estate.
Oh,
And why over the longest haul the things go up over the longest haul? Because you have a Federal Reserve and the United States Treasury
right,
that have no choice except to continue inflating and devaluing the currency
right.
to be stimulative in nature. Therefore, real, tangible assets always win in the long run. You remember Prudential's old tagline, Prudential Insurance? Do you remember, Marshall, what it was? The Prudential? Do you remember what it was?
The commercial?
Yeah.
I remember.
What their tagline was?
They did have a commercial, right?
Yeah. Prudential Insurance. Own a piece of the rock. That was their tagline. Okay?
Right.
And it's as true now as ever. You know, they're not making it anymore. Earth, the population grows over time. It's inevitable. Yes, you'll have severe downdrafts once in a while, but we
Right.
know. Okay. Yeah, Mouse Toes is
Can I mention
outstanding,
something about Mexico here?
is an outstanding moderator.
I want to mention something about Mexico.
And a heck of a good canner too. She canned some potatoes too. Nice job, Mouse Toes.
I want to mention something about Mexico here. That when I was talking about the MGTOW, you know, there's a movement called the Me Too movement in America. I don't know if you guys.
The Me Too movement.
It's a woman's movement.
I rarely fart.
But the Me Too movement here, and this guy is talking about here, it's very interesting that men are frustrated in America that the system paints everything that we do as harassment. Okay?
Thank you,
And
Mouse Toes.
a lot of American men are going down to Tijuana because of this Me Too movement.
What's up, Space Ace?
Basically, the Me Too movement has empowered many women in the U.S. to speak up against abuse and misconduct. It's not safe to hit on women in the U.S. anymore. So basically, slapping a stripper's butt is not only okay but encouraged in Mexico.
No, I didn't see any evidence of that. I don't know about
that. That is actually true.
Okay.
In the U.S., you'd get kicked out of the club, prosecuted for harassment, fired from your job, and probably listed as a sex offender.
Thank you, Jen, for your usual.
And this is part of the reason why American men,
some American men
are going to Mexico. A lot of American men, and because the Me Too movement has.
So
has taken a rise.
question is, though, Marshall, if a lot of American men are going to migrate to countries where you can still slap a gal on the butt,
right?
To my way of thinking, that's going to leave, and I'm not trying to insult you or anything, or your MGTOW movement, but that's going to leave men that understand the new realities, and they will adapt to the new realities of the equalities between male and female. Okay, those that can't adapt to that will go retrograde in another culture, but eventually there will come a day when it won't be appropriate to slap a Mexican gal on the butt. There will be a day that will likely come. Sorry, no man has the right to. That's right. I say no man has a right to put his hand, or a woman has a right to put her hands on you on that. So, I think that's part of the appeal of Marshall. As I've said before, I think that squares more with the Middle Eastern philosophy on the way we see it in places like Saudi Arabia, where women have only just recently been able to drive a car, and they still walk one or two steps behind the man, and it's always been that culture of male dominance over there. And I don't think that'll ever change over in that area. But I'm not going to go down that. I'm not going to go down that road tonight, because that's just. We'll just agree to disagree, because I'll never see it that way.
Mexico, like Rosie is saying, she has a good point. It is like the way the United States was probably in 1910 in the Wild West. There was brothels all over the place. It was more of an ultra-capitalist society. Nobody got a free handout. So Mexico is pretty much what we were like back in 1910, before all this Me Too movement and the feminist movement and all the stuff that's going on in America now. We're basically over 100 years ahead of Mexico
Yeah, that's
and
what I thought.
progressing.
Johnny Watt said in many ways is like 1960. I thought it was like the 50s and 60s.
Now, I'm from the old school, and I'm an old soul, and I come from a Middle Eastern family, and to me, I think that the current state of life that we're living in America right now, it's all geared towards the rich people. If I would have never went to Mexico, I would have lost all my teeth. I wouldn't have been able to afford to fix my teeth. I would be 37 years old with half the teeth in my mouth missing. And if I don't live the van life, I'd pretty much be homeless in America, because life has gotten so expensive here that you can't even have a regular life. You can't even afford, really realistically, to have an apartment and have a brand new car payment and have a girlfriend on the side. It's impossible. Life, just the regular life of a human being, is impossible financially in America. Things are so expensive.
Well, it is,
You look at a lot of YouTubers, and I'm not going to mention any names, but me and Rosie were talking today. There's a lot of YouTubers that are my age, a little bit older than me, and they don't have any teeth at the bottom of YouTube. And one thing that Tara told me when we were talking in San Diego, and I asked Tara, I'm like, Tara, what's the difference between Tijuana and Las Vegas? And she said, Las Vegas is the playground for the rich. And it really resonated in my head what she was saying. And she's like, Tijuana, anybody can go over there almost and have a good time, because it's so affordable compared to the United States. Not that it's cheap, but I'm saying it's more affordable.
Well,
but I think life in the United States has come to the point where if you're just an average person making an average income, your quality of life is going to be terrible.
well,
Because
it's
just a reality.
There is some reality of the healthcare system.
Yep.
But part of that reality is the unproductive girth that this nation is carrying around of people
Right.
that go into an emergency room and don't pay the bill. Do you
Right.
think that the doctors and nurses don't get paid? They're
I
gonna
think-
get paid.
I think
So
the
where
rich.
does it all go?
I
It
think
gets, let me finish. It
Yeah.
gets written off,
Right.
and ultimately they come back and ask for higher government subsidies and reimbursements. Productivity is the key to what's a lot of problems of America right now. I mean, when we have the equivalent of all the states of New England combined, that number of people on disability being carried along in this country, that's a big freight car to be hooked onto the caboose and carried around. Somebody's got to cover that stuff.
Exactly.
Liberalism went rampant in this country, Marshall. In fact, to make things better in this country, you have to dismantle a lot of those socialist programs, and people have to endure the pain of walking around and being so hungry that they got to get out there with a rag like they do on the streets of Mexico,
Right.
and wash cars or
Right.
sweep sidewalks.
Exactly. So
Or
I
sell eliotes on the side.
So what you're
know?
saying is actually, since Rosie is
It's our system of liberalism that's brought us to the current point of the socialism that
Right.
destroys the fabric of great nations.
right.
When everybody thinks we're so rich we can afford to just give it away. Well,
We don't. I think China is right now where they're at in the manufacturing. They're where we were like in the 1960s and 70s, right? In our heyday of manufacturing, right?
yeah, I mean, yeah.
So-
it's like and they're reaping the full benefits of a society that, number one, has a very high rate of savings, so they don't have a lot of national debt. There is corporate debt that's racked up in that country. Everything's a cash and carry.
Right.
They haven't even begun to leverage their cash into credit, okay? Like when you make a loan
Right.
with fractional lending in the banking system in the United States, you only need to keep 5% of that loan money in cash in the bank. The other 95% you create out of thin air by advancing that money to that person. It's called leveraging cash into credit and expanding the economy. They haven't even begun to do that. It's still rare that people even have a credit card. In China, it's almost unheard of over there.
But the
Okay?
quality
That's
of
the
their
advantage
lives.
they have. Number two,
Yeah.
they don't have a welfare system. Yeah, they have a very meager pension for like old age people and things like that. But remember, they got thousands of years of family tradition of the young take care. It's automatically
Right.
assumed that the children will take care of the parents. They will live, that's their responsibility. And
Right.
usually the parents will live with the oldest son, and then the oldest son's wife takes responsibility for taking care of the parents for the most part. Okay, so there's no real social safety net. So everybody's encouraged, study hard, work hard, take extra Saturday classes, and they work like animals. Okay.
Right.
Now there's a downside to that I'll get to. But with that dog eat dog society, builds toughness, builds greatness in society, because you have to make it on your own. It also builds a strong sense of self-worth. The
Right.
downside is everything becomes rote learning, and they're not believers in the liberal arts education that we are here in the United States. The tradition of you learn a little bit about a lot of different things. Okay, like liberal arts colleges and things. You learn a little about everything. Okay, therefore you can connect different ideas and things. You can be more creative, and that's the beauty of the Western system, is the creativity that it allows. But you find a lot of that lacking in Asian societies, because they're just memorization and learning facts and learning figures, and they're not able to connect great ideas.
Look at Asian, look at people, look at the Vietnamese people. All you see them do is have nail salons. And you see Vietnamese nail salons all over the United States. It's a one-trick pony. You know what I'm saying? And so you come to America, who would have ever thought that you can make money on YouTube, right? YouTube is an American company, right?
Yeah, it's a subsidiary of Google LLC.
Right. So look at, we have an open society, you want to call it capitalism, whatever you want to call it, that gives people an opportunity to try to make money in different ways, rather than being a slave, pedicuring and manicuring people's feet at a Vietnamese nail salon. So we're inventors. We have open minds. We have ability to diversify ways to make money, right?
Yeah,
that's the great.
That's why so many Asians have traditionally come over to the United States to be educated through the system at schools like UC Berkeley and Stanford and places like that, where they can sort of adopt some of that creativity and stuff.
Right now
The two Vietnamese. I know a lot of Vietnamese physicians too. I do.
Right now we're going into the part of America where we used to be ultra capitalist, ultra to the right.
Border Nomad is in the chat.
Hey, Border Nomad.
Let me see if he's in here.
Is he in there?
Let me see. I gotta scroll up. Border Nomad, if you're in here, please post again. There he is. Prison system. There he is.
How you doing, brother? Nice to see you.
Border Nomad, our brother from Mexico. They have shrimp boats and all that.
Yeah, nice to see you. Everybody
nice to see
subscribe
you,
to
Border
Border Nomad.
Nomad.
He's a good man.
And if
Subscribe
you know
to
a
Border
nice Mexican girl down there, Johnny
But
contact Border
look,
Nomad.
even Border Nomad
on his channel.
A man from Missouri, a good-looking man. The man is 6'3", HVAC technician from Missouri, Southern gentleman.
He is
Van
nice
Dwellen
guy.
Nomad brother, and a great gentleman. And look where he's at.
Yep.
He's in Mexico looking for love, looking for a woman.
Good night,
He's not in Santa Rosa hitting the sports bars where you're at, or going to Sonoma Valley eating wine and cheese, Rosie. This man is looking for a Mexican woman. This man agrees with what I'm saying. He's tired of the corruption and greed
Hey, Monique,
of
how you
America.
doing,
He's
sweetie?
tired of feminism.
Out in
He's-
West Texas town of El Paso.
He's looking for love in Mexico like the king.
Mexican girl.
So
My
for
time would find me at Rosie's Cantina.
so
Sorry.
Rosie right now, look, what Rosie needs to do is this. Rosie's got her plumbing down here.
Do the van build. Marshall, I'm happy. Please don't worry about my plumbing and my sex life. Okay?
And
Please, you take care of you.
I got sildenafil, Rosie.
I'm just saying, man.
I just was,
I'm saying I'm all.
I was
don't
telling-
worry about that.
Yeah, I was telling Rosie I'll give her some of my stash of sildenafil. But what she needs to do is get off the damn hormones and get her
Isn't that a great
testosterone.
song, Johnny Watt? I'm very happy. I know
Get that
I know,
testosterone
Monique.
flowing.
We are drunk tonight. We're tearing it up in the chat tonight. I'm really happy with where I'm really happy with where I am. No, but yeah, he's an HVAC guy. One of the nicest guys I've ever met on the road, border nomad.
Yeah, he's a
Make
good
sure
man.
to check out his videos. Man, this guy goes all the way. He shot up to Las Vegas. He came back to Yuma. I never know where this guy's going to be next. I mean, this guy travels a lot, and it seemed like every day we turned around, we would run into him on the streets.
Yeah,
of,
something else. Yeah, he's a really
Los
cool guy.
Algodones. He's a really cool guy. And yeah, Monique, we're tearing it up tonight. Lori Green.
Hey,
QB's
Laurie
in-
Green, I'm having my coffee.
There we go.
Coffee, I'm having my coffee over here, Laurie. How you doing over there in
I
Sin
hope
City?
Lori Green saying, "Oy vey, financial and love advice from Marshall. The world is doomed." How you doing, Lori Green? Nice to
How
see you.
you doing,
honey.
Laurie? How you doing? How's your gefilte fish over there? You having any gefilte fish and bagels? How you doing there? Where's your coffee, Laurie?
Binks wants to know, do you have jeweled caps? Did you want to get a little gold jewel in your caps, Marshall, there on the side?
Well, I don't know about that, but
Yeah, but Walter Manson, my idea of socialism is equal misery for all. Let's see, because there's no reward for wanting to get ahead, therefore creativity dries up in society. Yeah, I tell him, stay out of my sex life there. Did your head? No, the head gaskets are still there. Laurie's like, the coffee's sitting next to me. You got a cup of coffee? Huh? You got a cup of coffee?
what kind of coffee you think she drinks, Rosie? French roast?
Probably something.
Maxwell House?
Probably something. No, not Maxwell.
What kind of
House,
coffee
not
does a Jewish woman drink?
Folgers. I'm guessing that she goes get Starbucks grind or something like that. She
Really?
probably
I wonder what kind
buys.
of coffee that Lori Green is having.
She's got money. She probably.
Starbucks tastes like crap.
See, it's too acidic for me. Okay.
Too acidic, too bitter. It's too bitter,
I'll bet
Larry.
that she gets a.
I hope you're not having Starbucks over there in Sin
community
City.
coffee.
Community coffee is
Hey,
good.
Dodgy.
That's the chicory coffee? Oh, yeah. Community coffee makes a good coffee. Yeah, they have a really good coffee. That's from New
Nothing
Orleans.
to do with it, Space Days. We're just imitating Lori's Long Island accent. She's
Yeah.
a friend of mine for a lot of years. There we go. Sometimes Starbucks, Colombian usually. What's
Oh,
going on, Vinny G?
oh, man.
Well, he bought my coffee tonight.
Yeah.
Spanky, you enjoying tonight's chat?
What time is it right now? Let's see.
It is.
It's already, oh, wow. It's already 10:21.
Yeah, it's all right. I'm going to go a bit longer here tonight. I know it's an earlier day tomorrow, the penultimate day, the day you've all been waiting for. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Let's pull those teeth one by one. It's extraction day. Hooray, hooray.
Well, hey, let me comment on this. A lot of
I'm
trolls
going
are
to put that
saying,
camera in the door. I'm going to crack that door a little bit.
a lot of trolls were saying for weeks and months, Elvis,
Yeah, it went great.
just you're gonna you're gonna have to get all your teeth extracted. Well, I have to get some teeth extracted, not all teeth extracted. And I had
Hi, Elvis.
yeah, hello, how you doing, Border Nomad? But I've just showed live on the air here, like I said, my crowns, and 4 crowns, 1 filling, and
partridge in a pear tree.
And so I hope this encourages people to go to Los Algodones and get dental work. For those of you that are having dental problems, I highly, highly recommend it. I hope this has been an educational video series for everybody to look into it.
Yeah, okay.
You know.
Metal Slime says, I wonder what would happen if I added coffee beans to the mash I've got brewing up. What I would suggest to you, Metal Slime, is a person who's fermented thousands of gallons of distiller's beer for distilling into fine bourbon. Let me tell you this. Put that after you've made your, after you take that off the worm, you got the good hearts of your run. Take some coffee beans, wash them well, and take them and kind of split them a little, roast them a little bit, and then put them into a bag, like a cloth bag, and then let that infuse that afterward. Otherwise, you'll lose that flavor in the distillation process, okay? That's why they add things like lemon and other things after it's been distilled, okay? No, we don't save money out in the West Texas town of El Paso. Yeah, Monique is a beautiful woman. When you're alive. Tim C. This gout in my foot is getting better. Thank God. Tina, I'm sorry. There's Border Nomad said, thank you, but I'm not as good looking as Elvis Travels. Woo! He's a pretty good looking guy. How many crowns yeah, what's the final count on the coronation? How many crowns did you ended up getting? 4?
Oh, well, 3? Again, show people here. Let me see. I don't know if they can see this, but there's one here. One here. And there's 2 here.
Man, your mouth is actually starting to look sane again.
Yeah, so 4 crowns, but I've had a total of 4 crowns, 3 root canals. So each 3 root canals, each root canal cost me $250. 4 crowns, $180 each.
Is Cajun.
I had a cleaning today, deep cleaning, that cost $80. I had a general cleaning that cost $50.
I'll answer that.
I had a filling that cost another, I think it was $50 or $80, I'm not sure. Again, I didn't pay this all at once, it was in increments. And I have to have a wisdom tooth removed, that's $200. Some places will do it for $140, $150, depends on where you go. They all have different prices, but they're within range. And then I'm going to have some extractions, which are probably $40, $50 each, 3. So, yeah, I saved a lot of money. And plus,
let the games begin.
The insurance that I have is going to reimburse me by 30%. They're going to reimburse me for 30% of the total cost, so I'm going to get some money back. So I saved thousands. Not hundreds, but thousands of dollars.
All right,
going to
there
Mexico.
we go. Cajun Kev, if you don't mind me asking, did Elvis pay you back any of the money he borrowed from you? Yeah, we had that on the morning of, I guess it was the 23rd. Saturday was the 21st, which was YouTube payday, but the money didn't clear until Monday. We went to Wells Fargo bright and early, and he withdrew the money that morning and put it in my hand and counted it out.
Let me respond to Lori.
Now, some people are going to say, oh, you know, these people like Joe King are going to say, oh, you just gave it right back to Elvis. I can't afford to give Elvis 500 of my hard-earned dollars when I'm traveling and being on the road.
I want to respond to Lori Green.
That's what I told Jasper. Marshall's really got to start looking after his teeth now. When you've made that kind of investment, you've got to be able to do that. There you go, Monique.
I want to respond to Lori Green real quick. Lori Green commented.
Yes, you know, I can, my hand on the Bible, Cajun Kev, I got my money back.
Lori Green just
I'm not sure how much it costs. That's up to him. I never sat in there, and yeah, I mean, I paid. Remember Lori Green in April of 2018? I went through the trauma of losing a cap on my crown and I crazy glued it on with Gorilla Glue. It only lasted a month, and then I swallowed that. And I went, and the result was I needed 2 root canals, and I had 2 crowns. I had some fillings, and out of my own pocket, I ended up paying $4,000 out of my own pocket for that. $4,000. I could have gotten the same stuff done here for about $1,500 out of my own pocket.
Let me respond to Lori Green if I can.
With a decent dentist. I'm no dentist, but it seems like this guy's a very, very competent. Nacho Soon, there you go, 4 scores. Check out a place called Nacho Daddy down there. It's a pretty good place. He's saving for dental work. Good for D. Glad I caught you again. Yeah, Charlotte, nice to see you. Thank you. Do you, well, Lavender, I try to answer people's questions about things. I did get my money. I can't afford to pop $500 into, I need my money for traveling. Although you have to say, I'm doing pretty good on my keeping to my $20 a day for budget.
Well, Rosie only eats 1 meal a day. She doesn't eat breakfast or lunch. She doesn't snack. She just eats dinner.
Hey, Katie.
Usually she's been trying to spend $15 or less for dinner. So for Rosie,
I know, Mouse
food
Toad.
doesn't cost her more than $15 a day, because Rosie only eats 1 meal.
Yeah,
she has a coffee and donut, and then. But I want to respond to Lori Green if I can here real quick.
Hey, Don, how you doing?
Lori Green said her husband paid $1,000 for a crown.
No, BW, I don't.
To answer your question, Lori Green, crowns in Los Algodones, if you go to all metal crown, it can cost you $120 to $180. If you go what they call an Emax crown, which is kind of like all porcelain, it's about $300. And the zirconia crowns, depending on the place that you go and the quality of the zirconia crown, which is the top of the line, can range from $300 to $500 in Los Algodones. That's without dental insurance. That's just straight up just paying them cash. And if you pay them cash, you avoid the 3% fee on your card. But if you do have dental insurance, like Delta Dental, like I had, it'll even be cheaper. You'll save 30%. Delta Dental of Arizona has 30% savings on over across the board on all procedures. So anybody who gets dental work done in the United States, either you've got money to throw away, you don't really care about your money. I would highly recommend people going to Los Algodones.
VW, don't worry.
Because it'll cost you, even with dental insurance in the United States, it'll cost you thousands of dollars more.
There's the gold medal statement tonight by Lavender Flower. Be right back. I'm gonna beg my husband to run over my head. Oh man, that's funny as hell. That is.
I
funny.
hope this has been educational for everybody that wants to get dental.
I think Marshall, if nothing else, Marshall's probably been. I mean, Bob Wells's girlfriend came over and got her dental work done, but it's not been nearly the in-depth discussion of what it costs and what are the, how did you go about picking the right place. Let me just finish.
Yeah.
So there is some benefit of what he's gone through in terms of other people learning. Is it practical? Now time will tell. Let's see how the teeth hold up. I'm betting, observing the dentist, and I'm no dentist and I don't play one on TV, but I like the way they run their office. All of their all their equipment was not autoclaved. It all came out of sterile. Each individual used sterile packaging, and I thought that the standards, just to a lay observer, they look pretty good in there. It seemed like a very efficient office. So I think people can benefit from that knowledge. Also, the knowledge that you can be safe when you go over to these border towns, especially during the daytime. Nobody's gonna bother you. They might jibe, Elvis. Elvis is a celebrity. He's known on the streets of Los Algodones. Titas Grande, you know, big tits. I mean, you'll get a nickname when you go over there, but it's all friendly stuff, and
Yeah.
you can get dental work done there, and you can save yourself a ton of money. He was a little disappointed on the color of that, but it sits back on that. It's actually you can't really see it from the front or the side. Living in us, I'm going to keep my money right here. It's called supporting. Well, cash, that's fine. I mean, you know, our society is forcing people to go over the border now to get stuff done.
Well, like I said, when you
I
talk
mean,
about
we'd like
supporting,
to. It's like you know, if he could have gotten it done in the United States, you know, a free clinic would extract and just fill. That would be
you talk about supporting the United States. Most of the items that you buy anywhere are made in China now. You go to Walmart, you go to any other retailer, you go to Dollar Tree.
You have to
Most of the
crap on
stuff that
sale
you
in
buy
Mexico.
is made in China, made in Mexico, made in different countries. So this whole thing about supporting America is really a bunch of gibberish. Look at the items that you're buying every day. Most of them are not made in the United States; they're made in other countries.
Juice is itchy.
And that's a fact. And it just come to the point where America has not made it. It's not an equal level playing field
Well,
in America right now.
It's the realities of a competitive world economy
Right.
that force pain, and the pain will increase dramatically over the next year or two. Okay, because
Exactly.
you know
So
I'm not going to go into my thoughts on it because they're not relevant to people on here because they'll have their own thoughts. But I see the ball released from the pitcher's hand coming over the plate. I can see it coming into the home plate, and it ain't a happy picture there.
no, it's
We should have free and accessible dental and health care. Oh, Mexican Coca-Cola is delicious. I haven't had a regular Coca-Cola in 20 years in the United States, and all I've basically drank is the Mexican Coca-Cola down there because it's real sugar in it. Most Mexican, I never got gas off of Mexican. I never got gas off of Mexican. I never got gas off of. Yeah, it's going to be bad, Walter, and I'm not trying to. I like to be upbeat and positive. I don't like to be gloomy. But anybody with half a brain can see the writing on the wall that there's some bad stuff unfolding right now. Cane sugar.
look at the cost of. You want to talk about all the stuff we're showing you guys. We're having a lot of fun and showing you guys the travel, but look at the dark side of America. Look at the gas prices that people are paying. Look at the rent prices. Look at the prices of food when you go
it's
out.
like California extracts so much in tax now.
Yeah,
They can sell you a gallon of gasoline for $2.69, $2.79 in Yuma. But you go over
$2.69
to El Centro and you're paying $4.09 and up.
exactly.
And you scratch your head and say, gee, that's 50 miles away. How can that be?
How can that be? Exactly.
And, you know, welcome to California, man. You have a special California blend. Then they're always increasing the gasoline tax and things for Caltrans and the road system and all that.
Right.
Our county sales tax is 8.75% in Sonoma County, and they're always putting things on ballots for another 0.25% here or there and all that kind of crap. Okay, everything needs more. Therefore, people's standard of living is harder and harder.
Oh yeah, the standard
maintain.
of living.
So what do? They borrow like crazy.
Right.
Yeah, they don't want people to drive cars. That's right. So. Let's see. Yeah. Oh, you have the best gas. We do because we're not as heavily taxed as say. You pay $1 a liter in Mexico, which actually seemed cheap compared to El Centro down there.
Today I was in Mexico today, and I bought me a nice bottle of Topo Chico sparkling water, Mexican sparkling water, and I bought Rosie one of those little one of those 12 ounce, what is it, a 12, 16 ounce bottle of Diet Coke.
Yeah, they call it a
And
medio liter. It's a
And
half a liter.
both of those cost $1.35 an American.
Right.
And if I would have went to any gas station here, they would have hit me up for at least $2.30 for that for her Coke.
Yeah.
And that bottle of water would have been at least another $2.30. It would have cost me
73 cents.
It would have cost me $5 for a sparkling water, Topo Chico sparkling water, and a bottle of Coke. And in Mexico, it costs $1.35. So you do the math. Something as small as that. And then it just kind of opens my eyes as to we're living in a society that's being inflated. If Rosie's talking about Federal Reserve, they keep it on printing out money. It's not backed up by nothing. They keep on bringing up the minimum wage. It's all a scam.
So let me tell
bringing
you
up the
now,
minimum wage ain't
Marshall,
going to do nothing because the
let me
prices
ask
of
you
things is
this.
going up. It's not going to do nothing.
When this recession hits full on, which it will, there's no more room to cut interest rates because they're already at the cellar. So you only have one alternative left at that point,
Right.
and that's to inflate away and throw money into the economy and just force negative interest rates in banks. And I don't even want to go there.
When you say throw money, what do you mean by that?
I mean, they're just enforcing loans. They're buying back bad debt off of bank books and things and reliquifying them and allowing to relend. But you get the paradox of thrift, what we call in economics the paradox of thrift.
They're just lending out people at high interest.
Where
They're
the
just,
worse things get, the less people want to buy.
Right.
And the less they buy, the worse things get. And it's called the paradox of thrift. The thriftier you are,
right,
the worse the
economy gets. Exactly.
So they don't want to ever reach that point. They want the money to keep flowing, baby.
And that's why they keep on giving people loans at high interest rates.
Exactly.
And people are willing to slave out for those high interest
There
rates
you
for
go,
their
Katie.
homes and for their vehicles. And they just keep on slaving away and paying and working that 9 to 5, having
this
a good
guy
job.
Jasper can never say what the scam is. You know what I mean? These people just come in and say scam. What scam?
Yeah.
It's not your money, Jasper. What do you care?
But
the price of fruit is ridiculous. I agree with that.
Yeah, the price of fruit
is
is
ridiculous.
Yeah.
I go in here to Yuma. Now, granted, it's not the fruit basket, but I'm in the Central Valley where there's orchards like crazy. Why should I pay $1.69 for these hyper-genetic peaches that one of them costs $1.60? They're so damn big now, the size of fruit and stuff. That
why should a package of strawberries be $3
Yeah,
if they're grown in?
It is ridiculous.
And why can't they be 99 cents?
Well, ultimately, it will cause more, just like the 1930s led to World War II. So, countries in too much agony.
And I'm just telling people it's going to come to a point where more people are going to get into the RV van life.
I'm not responsible
affordable.
for his diabetes and things. He can check that himself. That's an easy thing to do. Don't eat anything in the morning and go over there and have somebody test your fasting blood sugar in the morning. Let's see, avocados here $1.20 for small. Yeah, avocados are cheap here, really cheap. Yeah, I think they have that thing here. The bigger the fruit, the less. I agree, Ava. I'm so sick of how large. I call it frankenfruit now. They're so ridiculously. I go into either a Walmart or another store here to try to get some fruit. The plums are hard as a rock. The peaches are hard. They're all genetically engineered. They don't ripen for like 2 months. So they're not.
Hard as a rock,
I don't even want to eat them. I don't even want to eat it. I'm disgusted by frankenfruit. I'm disgusted by that. I love flying to my destination. Yeah, well, that's okay. The peaches are good. Frankenfruit is perfect for Halloween. Here, kid, have an apple. Yeah, fruit isn't fruit anymore. It's genetically modified crap. Okay, it doesn't ripen like it did when I was a kid. It doesn't behave. It's lousy. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead. It's been about an hour and a half here. We have a earlier day getting over the border tomorrow, so I'm gonna be getting myself underway at 7 a.m. See you guys on a little bit of an earlier hangout tomorrow. Thank you, everybody, for being on, Marshall, my wonderful moderators, for doing your thing as usual. Thank you very much. I've got the best core in the business here, and I got my winky whispers. Yeah, thank you for scores. Be seeing you in a couple weeks, my friend. Make sure you travel. Bye, Cash Taz. Nice to see you. And if you've enjoyed the content, I never collect taxes on here. Tips are appreciated. And if you enjoy the content, the cinematic, I'll be putting up another cinematic features, a night in Mexicali, that I think that you will enjoy. PayPal.me/Rosie O'Kelly. It's always appreciated, never required, but always appreciated. Any last words?
My last words to everybody. My last words is, if you guys want to call me, if you guys want to call Rosie the Johnny Carson of the bottom of YouTube, and you want to call me the Ed McMahon, if you guys think I took D-Dub place and I'm the Ed McMahon, and I'm gonna say, here's Rosie.
From Hollywood, it's the Tonight Show.
It's the Tonight Show with
Johnny's guest,
Rosie O'Kelly. Everyone knows I'm Rosie.
Yeah. All right, guys.
But the bottom line is, yes, guys.
From Hollywood.
Yeah. All I want to say is
like,
really,
I want to see where they film, the Tonight Show and all that.
And in closing, I just want to say,
we'll get tickets to the Tonight Show.
I think hopefully Rosie will delve more into Mexico, because there's a lot more to learn about it, really. And as far as the conversation of Las Algodones and dental work, guys, if you need dental work, I highly recommend that you go into Las Algodones. If you send me an email at AssyrianGod33@gmail.com, my email, I can recommend to you some great endodontists and dentists there.
That's
and
a
you
good
can tell them
point.
that Elvis sent you.
You could at least take that information and keep that.
Yeah, somebody that I know who's serious, who's not a troll, who wants to get dental work done, seriously, you'll save a lot of money. You'll save hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. And I highly encourage people going there, and I can give you guys some quality information on that. Because I know there's a lot of people that watch YouTube here. A lot of you guys are in your 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. There's older people that are watching. And when you get older, you're going to have tooth problems, tooth decay. So I highly
original
recommend
factory equipment.
And I would like to share that information with you guys.
Yeah, if you want to share it, write him at Assyrian God
33, or send me a message at my Facebook fan page, Elvis Travels, and I can recommend you some places.
Getting ready for CamperCon 2020.
Yeah, so that's a very important thing. I think people, it's a very important, some very good information I can give you guys. So that's all I got to say. And then
all right.
Lastly, I just want to say, please subscribe to my channel, Elvis Travels, if you haven't yet. Help your king get to 8,000 subscribers. Let's keep the power of positivity going. Rosie is the Anthony Robbins of the bottom of YouTube, and she is the Johnny Carson of the bottom of YouTube.
From Hollywood.
Here's Rosie.
Good night, everybody. Thanks.
All right, good night. Woo.